As the weather continues to get colder, the MLB postseason action continues to heat up, as a field of 12 is now down to just 2, and the fun is just getting started. Hello everyone and welcome back to Penn State Sports Night. I'm Logan Bourandas alongside Allie, Wenskoski and Brendan Conroy. Let's get into it. So going back to the ALCS, the Houston Astros defeated the New York Yankees in a sweep, and there wasn't a lot of news to spread in a positive way for the Yankees, and they were kind of yanked out of the playoffs. So, Allie, what did you see in this 4-game sweep?
So not only were they yanked out of the playoffs and also swept by the Astros, but the flaming hot Astros burned so brightly, the Yankees' chances of going to the World Series were just dimmed out. So going into that series, the Yankees just didn't have their stuff. Aaron Judge has been great for them all season and one of their biggest offensive components, and he just didn't really do what he had been doing all season. But going to the Astros, they were great offensively and defensively. But turning to Jeremy Pena was their big star, the ALCS MVP. He went 6 for 17 in the series, showing off his stuff. 2 homers, 2 doubles in that series. He just was great for them. Only 25-year-old rookie. He's really a star to show for them. And I think they're going to have a great series moving on to the World Series. They're just swept the Yankees, who were great in the regular season and were big contenders, a first and second seed matchup. But here we are going to the World Series, and the Astros are the ones to go.
Yeah, and the Astros, all those wins were close also for Houston over the Yankees in a 4-game sweep. And moving on now to another series that wasn't as close, but it was still pretty much kind of a blowout fashion. The Philadelphia Phillies in the NLCS defeated the San Diego Padres 4-1. And Brendan, you talk about the Astros being that 1 seed making it all the way. The Phillies are the 6th seed making it to the World Series.
I mean, the Phillies, in my opinion, got lucky twice. Not only did Bryce Harper absolutely clutch up in that 8th inning to give them the go-ahead 2-run homer, eventually giving them the win, but I think where they really got lucky was playing the Padres. If they had to play the Dodgers, who knows what would have happened? And it's always interesting playing the what-if game, especially in baseball, because who knows? The Padres are able to beat the Dodgers. But what happened with the Phillies in this Padres series was they were sneaky good at the plate. We haven't really seen this great of an offense from the Phillies all season. They got a new coach later into the season, and then this one coming in with a losing record, then makes it a winning record, bringing them to the World Series. Their offense was stepping up. Guys like Juan Soto were not performing as well as they should for the Padres. Manny Machado had a fine series, but those guys weren't stepping up to the plate as they usually do in the field fine, but they weren't producing like they needed to be. The Phillies looked like almost the Yankees or the Astros, looked like an ALCS team playing against the Padres. And yeah, Bryce Harper looks like the king of Philadelphia right now after that home run. But yeah, I mean, taking that 1 loss, not the biggest deal. Philly went back home for those last 2 games, and they said they were going to finish it at home, and they did just that. Astros couldn't do that. They were at Yankee Stadium, but the Phillies did it so well that they won in those 5 games, were able to celebrate at home, and who knows what's going to happen in the World Series? We'll make our predictions, but Philly's in it, and that's more than these other teams can say. The Dodgers can't say they're in it. They're defending champs. Atlanta Braves cannot say they're in it. Phillies are in it, so it's up to them to make some magic happen.
Yeah, and the Phillies aren't like Pete Alonso, whose team did just lose to the San Diego Padres. But now, getting into the nitty-gritty. Brandon, you mentioned it before. You have David against Goliath, Phillies against Houston Astros. And when we get down to it, the Fall Classic is here. Allie, which team's going to be dancing on their own in the World Series?
I think that, Red Hot October has been great for the Phillies and Phillies fans so far, but I think it's going to be a massacre. The Astros are going to take it. I'm going to take them in 6 games, actually. I think it could go 6 or 7, but I'm going to take it in 6. They just have the offensive to do it, and they have the pitching to back it up. They have Verlander, and they have other amazing pitchers on the mound, and then they have Alvarez, Pena, and Bregman, and just classic names that are going to produce consistently, and that's what they need to do. And I think the Phillies have great offensive as well. Bryce Harper, of course, but is always a contender. However, I just don't think they can match the Astros' role.
I mean, every player on the Astros, the 1 through 9 in the batting lineup, is a all-star caliber type player. I remember Bregman was batting yesterday, and I looked at the TV and said, this is the last guy you want up. And he's not even the best player on the team. And what did he do? Got a score in, which is pretty impressive, especially when Bregman's been on the team for a long time. He's a veteran. But guys like him, like you said, Altuve, Alvarez, who are just hitting the ball. And Altuve is kind of a cheat code. Has a career .307 batting average, and coming into the postseason, getting these hits and able to get stolen bases, don't get me wrong. he is a threat on the base path. So that's somebody you want to look out for. The Astros back in 2017, it was controversial. They still won it, so they still were that good of a team. It's similar to the Patriots Deflategate. Did they win it because of the controversy? I mean, they still won the game. So the Astros still do have those same players and more players that they picked up along the way. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But honestly, I give them 5 games. I wish I could give it to 6 or give it 7. But I think the Phillies will win one. I think their offense will sprout out, and probably in Philly they'll get that win. But I think the biggest thing is the Astros are going to take it in 5 games just because of how good they are and how much better they are than all of baseball, including the Phillies. I say the Astros might be taking the Dancing on My Own song and dancing on their own after taking down the Phillies in what I think is going to be 5 games.
You know, I hate to make it a clean sweep in this panel, but like the Astros have done for pretty much both the series they've played so far, I'm going to do just that. I think the Astros will come away. They've had tough luck against the NL East teams in the World Series so far, but third time might be the charm there. The Fall Classic opens up on Friday as the MLB postseason slowly comes to a close. That's going to wrap up this edition of Penn State Sports Night. Be sure to stay tuned for more MLB updates. For Allie, Wenskoski, and Brandon Conroy, I'm Logan Bourandas, and have a great night.
Hey everybody! Thank you for tuning into this edition of Penn State Sports Night. We hope you liked that segment.
And we're sure there's other Penn State Sports Night segments that you are going to love as well. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content.
And check us out on social media for updates and behind-the-scenes clips and pics. Follow us on Twitter at PSSN TV and on Instagram at PSU Sports Night to keep up with all the action.
For all of us here at the Belisari Media Center, we are
Penn State Sports Night.